Hey there everybody, welcome to the channel. I'm Cindy Daychuk with Queen Bee Creations, and today we are going to be making some frogs. Not just any frogs, we're going to make floral frogs. We're going to use some air-dried clay, and this is a nice simple little thing to be able to make, but it's also a lovely giftable item. You know, we're coming up into the season where there's going to be lots of fresh flowers. Maybe you've got a garden and you grow a lot of them, and you may be gifting floral bunches. So this makes a great little gift to go along with it that people can use with their vases, with the florals that you've gifted them. And so we're going to make a couple of these, and I'm going to show you a couple of different ways to be able to do it. So all I've got is some air-dried clay. I've got a little bit of a plastic mat to roll it out on. Which reminds me, I need to go find a roller if I'm rolling it out, and we kind of go from there. Now I'm going to do one using a mold. I may use a stamp. You could just shape and form your own. You could use a big cookie cutter. You could download an image off the internet and just use it as a pattern to be able to cut out with your X-Acto knife. So there's a lot of different ways that you can go with this. I'm just going to show you a couple and then let your imagination take over. I'm going to pull you in overhead so you can see what I'm doing though. For my first one, super easy, I have this daisy. Now this is going to be a little bit of a smaller one. The only thing that you have to keep in mind for this, let me get some of my clay out. The only thing you have to keep in mind is that the width, the diameter of your mold is got to be as big or bigger than the opening of your vase. So it means that the neck of this vase has to be smaller than this, if that makes sense, because we don't want it falling into our vase. So I'm just going to put a little bit of cornstarch down just so that my mold releases nice and easily. And for this one, we are just going to be pushing. Oh, my clay's been sitting a little bit. Okay, perfect. Good to be using it up then. Now, if your clay starts getting too firm, meaning it's gone hard, or you're going, oh my goodness, this is killing my fingers to be able to push this out, just seal it back up in a plastic bag with a damp paper towel. And your clay, you can see how this just doesn't even want to be moving. Your clay will absorb that moisture and it will soften up again. And even if, you know, sometimes you have like a package you haven't even opened and it's gone almost rock hard. And I've had some of that happen here in the shop where maybe it just had a little tiny pinprick or a little crack on the edge of where it was sealed, then it will soften right up as well. So don't think that you've lost that clay in any way. Now, when I'm filling this, you can see that there's like narrow sections, which would be fine if I was gluing this onto a flat board. But because I am using this as a floral frog, I actually want this to be fully the depth of the mold. It will be a little stronger then, it'll uphold to use a little bit better. So I do want to make sure that I fully fill my mold for something like this. So I'm just going to add some of this here and there, get a little bit more in, and then I'm going to take my rolling pin over the top just to kind of flatten this out nicely. And those micro edges on this are going to work just as well with the rolling pin. You can see where it's starting to flatten it out. I'm losing some definition, and then I can just take my fingers to be able to cut that off and get that nice and smooth. And then to release, I just pop it over. Now, the other thing to keep in mind, this is already hard enough, so I just want to pop it away in its bag. The other thing to keep in mind, of course, is that we need the floral stems. So I've got a big paper straw here, and I'm going to use that to cut holes into. I just want to push this up so that it's out of the way. And however many holes I put in are the number of stems of my flowers that I would be able to use in whatever my floral arrangement is. For this next one, I want to take my clay and I want to roll it out. So I have my plastic down, I've got a little bit of cornstarch down. I don't think it's really necessary because my clay is so firm, but this is a great way to go if your clay is firm, because then I'm not so worried about it. So again, I don't want it to go too thin, but if you have some of the stamps, I have an IOD floral stamp here. You can use this. So it's actually showing I need this bigger. Now, I'm not rolling it thinner because it's already a little too thin. So I'm just gonna remush it with some more clay, and I'm going to re-roll it. And you can see that it's kind of hard because it's not even sticking together very well. So let me knead this a little bit more, I think. So you just want to roll it out bigger than maybe your cookie cutter is, or bigger than, in my case, my stamp is, so that I can get my full image. And this is actually lovely and a little bit thicker than it was, so then perfect. Now, I'm not looking at adding that little piece that's sticking out, so that's perfect. And I am just going to lightly roll on top of it so that I impress that image into it. And now I am going to take my X-Acto knife and cut out my image. Now, I'm taking a little bit of water and I'm wetting my fingers, and I just want to go around my edges now, those cut edges, and just kind of soften them a little bit. I just want to round them out a little bit so that they're not so harsh, so cut and dried looking. Well, literally cut, but I just want to smooth them out a little bit. And now you're going to be, again, doing the same thing, taking my straw, and I'm going to try and determine kind of, in this case, where my center is, and do some of my holes around the edges. I decided it's easier to take each of my holes out as they happen. If they're stuck in my straw, then trying to get a bunch of them out at once. And then that way I keep all my clay. And then this one I'll put off the side to dry as well. We just need them to dry mostly. It doesn't necessarily have to be fully before you would start painting them, but I do want them mostly dry because I am going to be handling them and I don't want to lose any of my imaging or definition. Now that our little frogs have dried, all that's really left for us to do is to paint them up. Now, you could have done these with resin and then drilled the holes through them, rather than doing it with the clay and poking it through, because this didn't require a special tool, which I don't know if a drill counts as a special tool or not, but I know many of you are just kind of crafting at home without those. I chose to do it with clay to show you can do it with clay. So I'm going to start with this big kind of peony sort of floral one, and because I have it open, I'm going to start by painting it out with a fusion color, which is a self-sealing paint. This is, hang on, I don't know what it is. Rose water. It's rose water. Just as my base color. Now you could paint these out with whatever paints you have. Ultimately, you're going to want to seal them. Obviously, you don't want them sitting in water, but they're going to be sitting above the water and the floral stems are going to go through. So you want them to be water resistant, and using, you know, a sealer like a top coat, polyacrylic top coat. Perhaps if you have like a dishwasher safe Mod Podge would also work. I'm also going to want to paint the back just so that, you know, it looks nice as well. But I'll show you once I get them painted where we can go. So again, you could have simply just used a big cookie cutter and cut out a big circle, or maybe one with lovely little scalloped edges would be pretty. Big star or snowflake design. So don't despair. You don't need to have a stamp. You don't need to have molds. You could do it with cookie cutters. If you don't have cookie cutters in any of those shapes, take a bowl or a mug that's this size and just use an X-Acto knife, trace around it. So you can create your own shape by printing out a pattern off the internet if you'd like. You could use bowls or cups that you own, cookie cutters, molds, stamps, really whatever you've got works just fine. So I'm going to get my little sunflower painted out in, well, it's got a little bit of pink now, but I'll get it painted out in kind of yellows, and we'll kind of go from there. When I happen to get glass floral frogs, old vintage ones, into the shop, even if they've got slight chips, they tend to sell right away. This is an example of a very small one. You can see how big the holes are for it to be able to work. Now, it doesn't have the holes going all the way through, so it's designed to sit in the bottom of a more shallow dish. So then the stems would be in there and it would hold it upright. You could use it in the mouth of a vase, but it's more designed for it to sit in something a little bit more flat and shallow. When it comes to the clay, if you're doing them with clay, you are going to want to be painting them out. And that's your preference in terms of how you paint them, what color they look. This one I just did in slight silvers because it's going to end up, that color is going to end up being part of the design. But I did do one that was just in the clear resin, and all I did was I coated it with like a diamond coating so that it almost looks like glass. The advantage of something like this is that it kind of disappears into your design, maybe, right? It doesn't become a visible or visual element to it. So it really depends on what your design is, how you're doing it, right? The size that you need. The idea with this is that you can turn anything like a glass into a vase. You can use that to be able to, you know, add your blooms in and to be able to have them separated and kind of designed without needing to have, probably need glasses for this, without needing to have multiple blooms. Like for something like this, I would need, you know, if I was filling up this glass, I would need to have a lot of blooms in there, or at least some floral foam in the bottom, so that they didn't, because they'd have to kind of fill the entire glass up for it to kind of have kind of a full look Instead, we can get, I'm just looking at colors here, we can get that kind of look by using the floral frog to kind of separate out our blooms, right? That it serves, just looking as I'm going, kind of going, no, I need a different one. And it holds them separate so that you get a nice kind of bouquet look without having to have a million flowers in there. This is lovely, especially if you have stems that are, you know, like tulips, where you might not have tons in the bunch, or daffodils perhaps, right? Where they've got kind of thick stems, you don't have a ton of them, but you are looking for them to be, you know, part of your design, and you know, you just don't have something that's narrow enough for them, because they tend to flop around a lot. So even here, we've got our little yellow piece, right? We've got our little sunflower up there, but because we're doing it in yellow, it becomes part of the design, and it just keeps our florals nice and separated, and allows us to turn things that perhaps, like this, that aren't necessarily a, oh, you guys might be a little too short for this guy. Let's see how it goes. But, you know, like this little ice bucket isn't necessarily for florals. And certainly, all right, I gotta go looking for another bunch of flowers to add to this. But you can see how that just kind of separates them, gives it a fullness. We can turn the ice bucket into a vase. The floral frogs then just help you be able to design wonderful little floral scapes out of virtually any container. One of the nice things about the floral frogs is that you don't need to have as many flowers. If you were trying to, in this big container, add florals to get this kind of fullness, you would need probably 4 or 5 times as many flowers as we used in here. And that's one of the beauties of using these, is it helps you be able to separate very few blooms. They help provide support to those blooms that have fragile stems or that tend to want to slump over, like your tulips and daffodils. And I'm thinking of those in particular because those are some of the first blooms that pop up here in the spring. But it works to separate. And you can see here even, this was our large floral silver one. You don't end up even seeing it, but it gives us the opportunity to use a really wide mouth container like this to be able to create a vase out of it, so that again, you can turn anything into a vase to be able to help you create just a beautiful arrangement. Let me know if you have, I have people that have floral frog collections, right? So some that are used on the base of a design, or some like these that are used at the top opening of your container. So multiple uses, some have spikes, some have the holes, but all help you be able to create beautiful, beautiful floral arrangements. Let me know what you think of this one, guys. Let me know if you've got floral frogs. That's hard to say multiple times, but let me know if you have them, if you use them, or you know, if you're going to be pulling some of these together. I think that they're a wonderful, quick, easy little thing if you're doing some springtime and summertime bazaars that are just low cash but quick items that people are able to purchase and be able to use. So bear it in mind if you've got some of those coming up. Thanks for tuning in as always. Looking forward to seeing you on the next one. And until then, take care.